I did it! I hit 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Today, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this YouTube journey. I cannot wait to continue to teach you more of my tips and advice about social media marketing and creative entrepreneurship. If you've been around for a while, then you'll know just how much this means to me. It took me 10 years of making videos on YouTube to hit 10,000 subscribers. And if you haven't seen the video that I made about that, then definitely go watch that later. Long story short, this has been kind of a lifelong journey for me. It's something I've been passionate about for a really long time, and I'm just so excited to see this channel growing more and more all the time, and to be connecting with all of you here and on Instagram and sharing advice that I've seen to be helpful and valuable to you all. So this is just a really big moment for me. So to celebrate this milestone, I thought today I would sit down and chat with you and do a Q&A or an AMA and just talk about my life, what's led up to this moment, and answer all of your burning questions. The first question is from Coach Kelly on Instagram, and she asks, how do you think of video ideas? And do you still use TubeBuddy for Keyword Explorer? This is something I get asked a lot, especially when people find out that I post videos 3 times a week. They're like, how do you come up with video ideas all the time? Really, this is something that I have to thank you guys for, because I'm always getting so many questions about Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. So I'm always inspired by what you're looking to learn, and I basically create video topics based on that. Or if I've learned something recently, like a special trick on Instagram, or I've sort of discovered something about the algorithm, or there's a strategy that I'm trying out and it's been effective and then I want to share it with others, that's another thing that inspires me to make videos. I still definitely use TubeBuddy's Keyword Explorer to make sure that the videos that I'm making are going to be searchable. Though that being said, I'm learning more and more that when it comes to my sort of primary content, which is Instagram advice, that I think in order for a video to be successful, it's actually more important that it's clickable and really intriguing to my audience, and therefore more likely to get like recommended in the homepage and stuff, rather than it being super searchable. But I think that's just sort of the stage that I'm at now in terms of my audience size for my content that like everybody wants to watch, which is the Instagram stuff. For other stuff, whether it's about TikTok or like photography or podcasting or something, then I would still definitely use TubeBuddy to make sure that it's searchable. Inspirational Mecca asks, did you have a day job when you first started out, and what was it? So I started my entrepreneurial journey actually before I ever left university. So I have never had like a full-time job outside of school since I graduated. However, I've had lots of like 9-to-5 or office experience through the several internships and summer jobs that I did while I was in university. So I did a bunch of different stuff. Like my summer in between grade 12 and university, I was a receptionist at the company my dad works for, covering people's like holidays. And then throughout university, I did marketing assistant type work at a couple different places for internships. And then probably the most interesting sort of office job that I had was I did an internship at Fashion Magazine, which is based in Toronto. And I was the digital editorial assistant. That was my role. So to this day, if you Google Katie Steckly Fashion Magazine, you will find the articles that I wrote for the website while I was there. But basically I started freelancing and doing sort of entrepreneurial stuff about halfway through my time in university, and I continued to build up my client base to the point that when I graduated, I basically started pursuing this full time, which was still definitely a risk. I will admit, like I didn't really make a full-time income up until very recently. So I was putting in full-time hours, but it was definitely still a startup. So I'm very glad that I persisted. But yeah, never done the 9-to-5 thing outside of school. She Shall Love Herself asks, what kind of activities do you and your BF like to do together while you're off work? First of all, I love your username. And second of all, I really like this question because it made me realize like just how little I feel like I talk about myself in my videos, because probably many of you don't know that I actually have a husband. So we've been married for almost 2 years. This summer it'll be 2 years. And we've been together since I was like 16. So anyway, I just thought I would point that out because I realized that I hardly ever bring that up. So anyway, in terms of what me and my husband do when we're not working. Lots of really cool stuff. Like, for instance, lately we've been really into playing Minecraft. Just your local 7-year-olds. We've been watching the Great Canadian Baking Show because it is the most wholesome content on Netflix. But we're also really big fans of RuPaul's Drag Race. We love going for walks. When we're not in the midst of a global pandemic, we play on a recreational baseball team together in the summers, hang out with our friends and family, and that's basically it. Oh, I guess another one of our key activities that we do as a team is teach the preschool Sunday school class at our church. And it is very fun because like 3 to 4-year-olds are hilarious. They're the best. I love hanging out with them. Oh yes, this also reminds me, I got a few other questions that were just sort of basic, like, where do you live? How old are you? And again, that made me realize just how little I ever talk about myself on this channel. I mostly just talk about Instagram, so I thought I'd give you a quick bio in case you were curious. I'm 23, I'll turn 24 this June, and I live in Canada, near Toronto, so that's me. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. Inspire Her Coaching asks, what has been the most challenging thing about this type of work and business? So I think that I have like 2 separate answers for this, for like the 2 different stages that I feel like I've gone through as I've built my YouTube channel and my business. The first thing is that the majority of the work that you do, like a huge amount of work that goes into growing this kind of business, happens when you're getting literally 0 feedback, like 0 likes and comments, 0 views. But it's so important to keep going during that stage and just keep on laying the groundwork that's going to help you grow. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges, is you have to do so much work that completely goes unseen, because if you don't put that work in, you'll never be able to create the work that does get seen. So it just requires a lot of persistence through times when you're not getting like any acknowledgement from people for what you're sharing and you don't have any audience. The second part to this though is, even when you do start to grow, your numbers are never gonna look like they're good enough to you. And that's something that I've really learned, because honestly, lifestyle or like expectation inflation is very real. A year ago, if I would have known I'd have 50K subscribers this year, it would have blown my mind. I would have been so happy. But now, like, I'm sitting here celebrating hitting this milestone, still feeling like, oh, but like it's not 100K though. Like it's still not 100K. And I know that once I hit that, I'll be like, oh, well, it's still not 500K though. So like, why am I so happy? So I think it's something to know that it's just always going to be a battle with your brain, basically, to feel like you're doing good enough, because you could always have higher numbers. So I think those are the 2 biggest challenges when it comes to growing a YouTube channel, or just like having a business, because the same goes with like income. Sarah K. Baird asks, do you plan on making just business type related videos forever? And then similarly, my friend, What Would Carla Say, asks, would you do a vlogging channel separate from your main? So I love this question, because probably if you've been following me closely, you'll know that I often talk about how I kind of wish I could make more personal content. So this kind of thing where it's like talking about my life and sharing from a more personal level, rather than just the sort of marketing education stuff. So I definitely do have aspirations to kind of create a vlog, make more like personality based content. But I do see that as something that I can maybe work towards in the future. It's something I've been thinking about a lot more lately, as I'm sort of analyzing what performs well on YouTube, what kind of stuff goes viral, what creates an audience that wants to watch every single video. And I think I can be honest with you, if you've watched this far to the video, and just say, if you look at my channel, you'll notice that not even close to everybody who's subscribed to me watches every single video. So that's definitely something that I kind of struggle with, feeling like so few of my videos actually reach the audience that I've grown. Like, I feel like I've worked really hard to grow this number of subscribers, and then still like not that many of them get to see the content that I'm making. So I'm trying to learn more about what it looks like to create a channel that like people want to watch every single video from, not just the ones that sort of are applicable to them during that time. So that's kind of one reason why I feel like I would want to move away from just tutorials and advice videos, because I feel like they don't inspire as much loyalty as like a vlog or something that has more of a storyline to it and characters. And in terms of whether or not I'd make a vlogging channel, that's definitely something that I've considered at different times, because I'm worried that trying to make vlogs on this channel would like ruin me, because I have done that a couple times. Like back in December, I tried doing Vlogmas and those videos did not perform very well. So it's just really thinking about like, do I want to have a second channel and then split my time and then end up feeling more passionate about one than the other? Because I've done the second channel thing before, hasn't always worked out or, you know, felt that productive to me. For a while there, I was thinking about trying to make a vlogging channel that would be like Katie and Dan. It would be about like us as a couple, because I watch so many like couple channels like Eamon and Becky and Chris, and then like Iz and Johnny Harris have their own channels, but they're often in each other's videos. And I just find like the dynamic of having two people in the videos, like there's people to play off of each other. It's interesting. It keeps it, you know, fast paced. But I don't really know if a couples vlog channel is in our future. So anyway, I've been thinking about a lot of different stuff. I wish I had a more clear answer, but something I'm considering, something that I'm interested in. I would love to make more videos aside from just the marketing stuff. Lisa Yura asks, what's one piece of advice you'd like to give to your younger self? So I feel like I have two responses to this in like two different areas. One is for like YouTube or business wise, and then one is just like life in general. The YouTube piece of advice is stop quitting. Stop giving up every time you feel like you're not seeing results. Persistence is everything, and for goodness sake, pick a niche and stick to it. You would be so much further ahead by now if you had just done that in the first place, and there's no reason to feel insecure about whether or not people know that you're making a YouTube channel. Just be dedicated to it, make the best quality content you can, and you will see results eventually. Just be patient. And just one thing in general I would say to my younger self is your natural sense of confidence and never giving up, persistence is going to really serve you in life. So make sure you lean into that and don't apologize for it. Just go for it. Now for a quick and fun one from Aroma and Rose Candle on Instagram. They ask, what's your favorite food, music, and color? Cute. I like that. So let's see if I can even come up with an answer. My favorite food. There's so many good foods out there. Basically anything that's not really that good for you. I love pizza. I love poutine. If you're not Canadian, then you're very much missing out on that. I love veggie burgers. I love cheese fries. All that stuff is amazing. If you didn't know, fun fact about me, I'm vegetarian. I've been vegetarian since basically June of 2016 was probably the last time that I ate meat. I think it was probably either shawarma or chicken wings was probably my last meat that I ever ate. So all the things that I just listed, obviously like the vegetarian version of that. But yeah, I don't often eat those things, but when I do, it makes me very happy. My favorite music right now is listening to Relient K's old albums. I feel like the soundtrack to my quarantine life is Forget Not Slow Down by Relient K. That album is like over 10 years old now, but it is such a jam. Literally go listen to it. Go play Savannah on repeat. That's what I've been doing. But other than that, honestly, I'm a pretty basic person. I love the Jonas Brothers. I really like Doja Cat and Lizzo, and basically anything that's popular on TikTok I enjoy. For a while I was big into Nicki Minaj, though I haven't heard much from her lately. That's the kind of music that I like. And my favorite color is red, which you might have noticed. Okay, Patricia SF Noons asks, how long have you been working online and how long did it take to have success? As I mentioned earlier, I've been making YouTube videos for over 10 years now. I started out as a very cringy 12-year-old and have just loved the idea of building an online community and making videos about what I love that whole time. And how long did it take to find success? If I'm brutally honest with you, I still don't always feel like I'm that successful. Like I was mentioning before, there's always the inflation of our expectations, and I feel like, oh, like I just need to keep working towards more. Like I'm not there yet. And I don't know. And success is such a such a subjective term. But I guess what you might be curious about is that it did take me 10 years to get 10,000 subscribers. I hit 10K in about April of last year, so just about a year ago, and now I'm at 50,000. So my growth has obviously grown a lot. It's increased a lot over the past little while, which I feel very excited about. But honestly, the more the numbers go up, the more I feel like success is like a mindset that you have to choose, because I don't know if you ever really feel successful. At Dream Bigger, Pray Bigger asks, do you work on your brand 7 days a week, or do you give yourself days off? Basically, I work on a pretty normal Monday to Friday and 9 to 5 schedule, and I'm kept accountable to that because my husband Dan also works 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. And so basically I'm working while he's working, and then we hang out or do our own thing or whatever outside of that. But I find that gives me like a really good work-life balance, and definitely I do still spend time working on stuff outside of that. Just yesterday, it was like Sunday afternoon, and I was setting up like Amazon affiliate links for myself. But I kind of find that fun to do. So outside of the 9 to 5, I won't give myself a to-do list. It'll be more just like, oh, I feel really inspired to write this particular script or like learn this thing about email marketing or whatever, and then I'll pursue it. But I don't like force myself to do work outside of that time. Yeah. And finally, the last question I'll do is from my girl, Alex Gazaway, who asks, what were your top 3 reasons for starting YouTube, and how long did it take you to go from first thinking about starting YouTube to actually doing it? So this would be a really great question for my 12-year-old self, and I really wish I could remember like what was going through my head or my decision-making process, but pretty much how it went was I learned about YouTube from like my cousins who showed me stuff like the treadmill dance guys, and then also like the Twilight parodies by the Hillywood Show. I don't know if anybody remembers that stuff, but like that is major throwbacks. And through them, I think I also maybe learned about like just other creators like Fred and stuff. But the people that I actually watched in a consistent way back in the day was like the Vlog Brothers and all the people in the sort of like nerd fighteria community. So I think I found the Vlog Brothers through Hank Green's song Accio Deathly Hallows, because I was a big Harry Potter nerd back in the day. And I remember like looking up stuff on YouTube about that, and then I found their channel. Anyway, so that's how I discovered YouTube, and basically I just found these people who were making videos talking about their opinions or talking about their thoughts on different books or sharing their love for Harry Potter, and I wanted to get in on that, so that's why I started making videos in the first place. And honestly, like the time between me discovering what YouTube even was to starting my own channel, like not that long in between. And I don't think I had a very clear thought process of starting a YouTube channel because there wasn't a real set in stone path for it back then like there is now. There's much more of a trope of what it is to be a YouTuber. Then I thought of it literally the same way as I thought of Tumblr or any of these other sites where we were basically just creating content for the fun of it. And that's how I started. The videos were bad back then. The videos were bad. Anyway, I've been talking for so long now, so I hope that this was somewhat interesting to you. Thank you all so much for sending in your questions and showing some interest, and I just really appreciate you for subscribing. I really, really am pleased to have reached 50,000 subscribers. It means a lot to me, and it means a heck of a lot to 12-year-old Katie, who could have only dreamed of this. So thanks so much for being a part of my journey, and I hope you have an awesome day, and I hope you feel inspired to keep on chasing your dreams. Please go watch this video next, because it really helps me in the algorithm if you keep on watching videos after this one and don't X out of YouTube. But before you move on to that, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I bet you're already subscribed if you made it this far. And just thanks for coming along on this ride. And as always, I'll go see you in this video, and bye.